The ancient Egyptians created a civilization that thrived for millennia. This civilization was built on the fertile banks of the Nile River. The Nile's annual floods brought life-giving silt to the land. This allowed the Egyptians to cultivate crops and produce surplus agricultural goods. From the bustling marketplaces of their cities to the far reaches of the known world, the Egyptians were active traders. They exchanged goods, ideas, and culture with their neighbors. Their pharaohs, considered divine rulers, invested in expeditions to distant lands. These expeditions sought valuable resources like gold, timber, and exotic animals. Join us as we delve into the world of ancient Egyptian trade. It takes us from the sun-drenched banks of the Nile to the distant shores of Africa and the Near East. In the heart of every ancient Egyptian city lay the marketplace, a vibrant hub of activity from dawn till dusk. Here, locals and foreigners alike converged to barter for their daily needs and exotic luxuries. The air was filled with the aroma of spices, the sound of haggling, and the sight of colourful textiles. Farmers brought their bountiful harvests of grain, fruits, and vegetables. Fishermen displayed their catches of the day from the Nile. Artisans proudly presented their crafts, pottery, jewellery, and furniture. The Egyptians developed a system to standardize trade. There was a unit of value based on the weight of copper. It served as a common denominator for comparing the value of different goods and services. The marketplace was not just an economic centre but also a social hub. Festivals and religious celebrations often took place in the marketplace, adding to the lively atmosphere. The Nile River, the lifeblood of Egypt, was also its main artery of trade. Boats laden with goods sailed up and down its length. They connected the northern delta region to the southern reaches of the kingdom. But the Egyptians were not content to limit themselves to the Nile Valley. They ventured beyond their borders, establishing trade routes across land and sea that stretched as far as the Arabian Peninsula, the Levant, and even Mesopotamia. Overland trade routes, often arduous journeys by donkey caravan, crossed the eastern desert to reach the Red Sea. Here, Egyptian ships embarked on voyages to the land of Punt. Punt, believed to be located in present-day Somalia, was a source of exotic goods highly prized by the Egyptians: incense, ebony, ivory, gold, and even live baboons. These international trade routes were not without their dangers, yet the lure of profit and the desire for exotic goods fueled the Egyptians' adventurous spirit, making them adept sailors and shrewd traders. The Old Kingdom period, around 2686 to 2181 BCE, marked the emergence of a powerful centralized state in Egypt. During this era, the pharaohs consolidated their power and embarked on ambitious building projects, most notably the pyramids of Giza. These monumental structures stand as a testament to the pharaoh's authority and the economic prosperity of the Old Kingdom. Trade played a crucial role in fueling this economic growth. The pharaohs controlled all aspects of trade. They sent expeditions to distant lands in search of valuable resources. Timber from the cedar forests of Lebanon was essential for constructing ships, temples, and tombs. Gold, mined in the Nubian desert to the south, became synonymous with the pharaoh's power and divinity. The Old Kingdom laid the foundation for Egypt's future economic dominance. It established the systems and networks that would allow subsequent dynasties to further expand trade and secure Egypt's place as a major power in the ancient world. The Middle Kingdom, around 2055 to 1650 BCE, witnessed a resurgence of Egyptian power after a period of political instability. The pharaohs of this era focused on expanding their influence southwards into Nubia. Nubia, a region rich in gold, became a primary target for Egyptian expeditions. Gold played a central role in the Egyptian economy and belief system. It was considered the flesh of the gods, and possessing it was a sign of divine favour. The Egyptians established trading posts and fortresses along the Nile to secure their access to Nubian gold mines. They also developed sophisticated mining techniques to extract the precious metal from the earth. Nubian gold fueled the Middle Kingdom's prosperity. However, the Egyptians' desire for Nubian gold also led to conflict. These campaigns were costly and bloody, but they ultimately secured Egypt's dominance over Nubia and its valuable resources. The New Kingdom, around 1550 to 1069 BCE, marked the zenith of Egyptian power and prosperity. During this era, the Egyptian Empire reached its greatest territorial extent, stretching from Nubia in the south to Syria in the north. This expansion brought immense wealth and luxury goods into Egypt, transforming its culture and economy. The pharaohs of the New Kingdom launched ambitious military campaigns. These campaigns brought vast territories under Egyptian control and opened up new trade routes. Egyptian armies returned from their conquests laden with booty, gold, silver, precious stones, exotic animals, and even slaves. Trade with distant lands flourished during the New Kingdom. Egyptian ships sailed the Mediterranean, reaching the shores of Greece, Anatolia, and the Levant. These exotic goods became status symbols among the Egyptian elite, further stimulating trade and cultural exchange. The New Kingdom was an era of unprecedented wealth and luxury in ancient Egypt. The ancient Egyptians were renowned for their ambitious engineering projects, and the Canal of the Pharaohs stands as a testament to their ingenuity and determination. This ambitious waterway, also known as the Canal of the Seas, was an attempt to connect the Nile River to the Red Sea, creating a direct trade route between Egypt and the East. The first attempt to construct the canal is credited to Pharaoh Senusret, the third of the 12th dynasty, around 1878 to 1839 BCE. However, it was Pharaoh Necho II of the 26th dynasty, around 610 to 595 BCE, who is often associated with the canal's completion. The canal was a remarkable feat of engineering for its time. It stretched for over 100 miles, linking the Nile River to the Bitter Lakes, which were then connected to the Red Sea. The canal facilitated trade and transportation between Egypt and the East. It allowed Egyptian ships to bypass the treacherous journey around the Sinai Peninsula, reducing travel time and risks. However, the canal was not without its challenges. Despite its intermittent use, the Canal of the Pharaohs stands as a testament to the ancient Egyptians' vision and engineering prowess. The once mighty Egyptian empire did not last forever. Political instability, internal strife, and the rise of new powers in the region gradually eroded Egyptian dominance. By the late period, around 747 to 332 BCE, Egypt was a shadow of its former self, its economy weakened, and its trade networks disrupted. The decline of Egyptian trade was due to a combination of factors. Internally, political instability and internal conflicts weakened the central government's control over trade routes and resources. The rise of independent kingdoms in Nubia further disrupted trade to the south. External pressures also played a role. The emergence of new powers, such as the Assyrians, Babylonians, and Persians, challenged Egyptian hegemony in the Near East. The decline of Egyptian trade had a profound impact on the empire's economy and society. The decline of Egyptian trade marked the end of an era. The story of ancient Egyptian trade is a testament to the ingenuity, resourcefulness, and ambition of this remarkable civilization. From the bustling marketplaces of their cities to the far reaches of the known world, the Egyptians were active traders. They exchanged goods, ideas, and culture with their neighbors. The legacy of ancient Egyptian trade is still felt today. The Egyptians developed complex systems of trade and diplomacy. They created innovative technologies for transportation and navigation. They established trade routes that connected distant lands and cultures. These innovations laid the groundwork for the development of international trade in the centuries that followed. Though the pharaohs and pyramids may be long gone, the spirit of trade that animated ancient Egypt continues to inspire us today. As we navigate the complexities of global trade in the 21st century, we can learn valuable lessons from the ancient Egyptians, who mastered the art of trade and left an indelible mark on the world. Death in ancient Egypt was not an end, but a transition, a pause before embarking on a perpetual journey to the afterlife. This belief fueled the practice of mummification, a complex and sacred ritual designed to preserve the physical body for the soul's eternal existence. The Egyptians believed that the soul, or ka, needed a physical form to inhabit in the afterlife. Mummification, therefore, was not merely about preserving the deceased, but about ensuring their successful transition and journey in the next world. This meticulous process transformed the deceased into an eternal being, ready to face the challenges and rewards of the afterlife. Imagine the hustle and bustle of ancient Egypt. The hot desert sun beats down on the land. The Nile River flows serenely, its banks teeming with life. Amidst this vibrant backdrop, a death has occurred, casting a somber shadow over the community. Yet there is no despair, only a quiet acceptance of the next stage of existence. For the Egyptians, death was simply a transition, a doorway to another realm. And to navigate this passage successfully, one needed the proper preparation, mummification. The Egyptians were deeply spiritual people. Their lives revolved around the cycles of nature and the promise of life after death. Central to this belief was the concept of the ka, the spiritual essence or soul of an individual. This ka played a vital role in the afterlife. It was believed to journey to the underworld, face judgment, and ultimately, if deemed worthy, achieve eternal life. But for the ka to survive, it needed a vessel, a physical form to return to. Hence, the elaborate and highly ritualized process of mummification evolved. This intricate procedure, shrouded in mystery and steeped in symbolism, was not merely about preserving the body from decay. It was about preparing the deceased for an eternal voyage, ensuring that they had everything they needed to navigate the trials and tribulations of the underworld and emerge triumphant in the afterlife. The intricacies of mummification varied greatly depending on social status and wealth. Elaborate procedures reserved for the elite, like pharaohs and high-ranking officials, involved meticulous organ removal and preservation, using expensive resins and perfumes. Commoners, however, received a more simplified version, often involving less intricate organ treatment and simpler wrappings. Interestingly, even animals held a place in the afterlife. Beloved pets and animals deemed sacred, like cats, were often mummified, their treatment reflecting the reverence they held in Egyptian society. Imagine the bustling workshops of the embalmers, the air thick with the scent of exotic spices and resins. Here, amidst glistening tools and linen bandages, the bodies of the deceased were received with utmost care and reverence. Yet, not all were treated equally. Ancient Egyptian society, much like our own, was stratified, with social standing playing a significant role in life and death. The pharaohs, considered divine rulers, received the most elaborate and costly mummification. Their bodies were meticulously prepared, organs carefully removed and placed in special containers called canopic jars, and the body cavities cleansed and filled with precious resins and perfumes. The process could take up to 70 days to complete, a testament to the importance placed on ensuring the pharaoh's successful transition to the afterlife. High-ranking officials and nobles also received elaborate mummifications, though not as opulent as the pharaohs. Their wealth and status afforded them the luxury of skilled embalmers and finer materials. Commoners, on the other hand, received a more simplified version. While their bodies were still treated with respect and care, the process was less intricate, and the materials used were more readily available. Sometimes a single treatment was applied to multiple mummies to reduce costs. The mummification process, a closely guarded secret of the embalmers, was a marvel of ancient science and ritual. It began with the purification of the body. The deceased was washed with water from the sacred Nile River, a symbolic act cleansing the body and spirit for the journey ahead. Next, the internal organs, believed to be susceptible to decay, were removed. This delicate procedure, performed with specialized tools, involved extracting the lungs, liver, stomach, and intestines. Only the heart, the seat of intelligence and emotion, was left intact, for it would be needed in the afterlife during the weighing of the heart ceremony. The removal of the organs marked a critical stage in the mummification process. It was not a haphazard or purely practical procedure, but a deeply symbolic act. The Egyptians believed that the body needed to be as intact as possible for the afterlife, but they also recognized the problem of decomposition. Thus, they developed a system where the organs, most prone to decay, were removed and preserved separately, ensuring that a vital part of the individual remained intact for their journey to the afterlife. Once removed, the organs were thoroughly cleansed and treated with natron, a naturally occurring salt mixture found in the desert, which acted as a desiccant, drawing out moisture and preventing decay. This process was crucial, as it ensured the long-term preservation of the organs. After drying, the organs were wrapped in linen and placed in special containers known as canopic jars, which were then placed within the tomb alongside the mummy. Section 4. Safeguarding the Essence. Canopic Jars and the Four Sons of Horus. The canopic jars were more than just containers. They were intricate works of art imbued with religious significance. Each jar was adorned with the head of a deity, each representing one of the four sons of Horus, the falcon-headed god of kingship. These sons, Imseti, Hapi, Duamutef, and Kebesenuef, were tasked with protecting specific organs. Imseti, with a human head, guarded the liver. Hapi, with the head of a baboon, protected the lungs. Duamutef, characterized by the head of a jackal, watched over the stomach. And Kebesenuef, with the head of a falcon, safeguarded the intestines. The placement of the organs within these specific jars, each protected by a son of Horus, highlights the Egyptians' belief in the interconnectedness of the physical and spiritual realms. Every step of the mummification process was imbued with symbolism, each action carefully orchestrated to ensure the deceased's well-being in the afterlife. The sons of Horus, through their protective roles, served as intermediaries between the world of the living and the dead, guiding and safeguarding the deceased's organs on their journey to eternity. These beautifully crafted jars, often made of alabaster or limestone, were more than just containers. They were seen as miniature sarcophagi, protecting vital parts of the deceased for eternity. Their presence within the tomb underscored the belief that the body in its entirety played a crucial role in the afterlife. The care and artistry lavished upon these jars are a testament to the Egyptians' deep respect for the dead and their commitment to ensuring a smooth transition to the afterlife. The power of natron, drying for eternity. With the organs removed and placed in their respective canopic jars, the next stage of the mummification process focused on dehydrating the body. This was crucial to prevent decomposition. The Egyptians used natron, a naturally occurring salt mixture found in abundance in the desert, for this purpose. The body, covered in natron packs, was laid on a slanted table, allowing fluids to drain away. Natron, a desiccant, played a vital role in mummification. It acted like a sponge, drawing out all the moisture from the body, effectively halting the process of decomposition. This natural salt, readily available in the Egyptian desert, became synonymous with preservation, its use extending beyond mummification to preserving food and other perishable goods. For about 40 days, the body remained immersed in this natron bath, slowly drying and becoming resistant to decay. The embalmers, skilled in their craft, regularly checked the progress, ensuring the body was dehydrating properly. This period of drying was crucial as it transformed the body from a perishable vessel into a lasting symbol of eternal life. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more fascinating historical explorations. Cleopatra VII was born in 69 BC, the daughter of Ptolemy XIV Auletes, the Pharaoh of Egypt. Her family, the Ptolemies, were of Macedonian Greek origin, descendants of one of Alexander the Great's generals. Despite their heritage, the Ptolemies embraced Egyptian culture, and Cleopatra, unlike many of her predecessors, learned the Egyptian language and customs. Cleopatra ascended to the throne in 51 BC at the age of 18, ruling jointly with her younger brother Ptolemy XIII. However, the young queen's reign began amidst political turmoil. Egypt was a wealthy prize, coveted by Rome, the rising power in the Mediterranean. Cleopatra's early years on the throne were marked by power struggles with her brother and his advisors. The young queen, however, possessed a sharp intellect and a keen understanding of politics. She was determined to secure her position and restore Egypt to its former glory. The joint rule of Cleopatra and Ptolemy XIII was fraught with tension. The young pharaoh's advisors, particularly the eunuch Pothinus and the general Achillas, sought to sideline Cleopatra and consolidate their own power. In 48 BC, they succeeded in forcing Cleopatra from Alexandria, the capital of Egypt. Exiled and facing the loss of her throne, Cleopatra refused to accept defeat. She gathered an army in southern Egypt, determined to reclaim her birthright. Meanwhile, a new player entered the Egyptian stage. Julius Caesar, the powerful Roman general, arrived in Alexandria, pursuing his rival Pompey the Great. Cleopatra saw an opportunity in Caesar's arrival. She famously smuggled herself into Alexandria, reportedly hidden in a rug, to plead her case directly to the Roman general. Caesar, impressed by her intelligence and charisma, agreed to support her claim to the throne. Caesar's intervention in Egyptian affairs led to a brief but fierce conflict known as the Alexandrian War. Caesar, with Cleopatra's forces, faced the army of Ptolemy XXIII. The war culminated in a decisive battle on the Nile River, where Ptolemy's forces were routed, and the young pharaoh himself drowned while trying to escape. With her enemies vanquished, Cleopatra was restored to the throne, now ruling jointly with her even younger brother, Ptolemy XIV. However, it was clear that Cleopatra was the true power in Egypt, her position secured by the presence of Caesar and his legions. Caesar remained in Egypt for several months, captivated by Cleopatra's intelligence and charm. Their relationship, both political and personal, would have profound consequences for both Egypt and Rome. In 47 BC, Cleopatra gave birth to a son, Ptolemy Caesar, known to history as Caesarion, widely believed to be Caesar's son. Cleopatra's relationship with Caesar was multifaceted. It was a strategic alliance, securing her position on the throne and providing her with the backing of the most powerful man in the Roman world. Caesar, in turn, benefited from Egypt's wealth and resources, crucial for his ongoing campaigns. Beyond politics, however, their relationship was also one of mutual attraction and intellectual companionship. Cleopatra, fluent in several languages and well-versed in philosophy and the arts, was a captivating conversationalist. Caesar, for his part, was drawn to her intelligence, ambition and regal bearing. Their affair caused a scandal in Rome, where Caesar's enemies seized upon it as evidence of his growing ambition and disregard for Roman tradition. Cleopatra, however, remained unfazed by Roman gossip. She accompanied Caesar to Rome in 46 BC, where she was received with a mixture of curiosity and disapproval. Section 5. The Queen and the General, Cleopatra and Mark Antony. After Caesar's assassination in 44 BC, Cleopatra returned to Egypt. The Roman Republic was plunged into civil war, and Cleopatra carefully watched the unfolding events. She knew that Egypt's fate was closely tied to the outcome of the Roman power struggle. One of the key figures in the post-Caesar Roman world was Mark Antony, Caesar's close friend and loyal general. In 41 BC, Antony summoned Cleopatra to Tarsus in modern-day Turkey to answer for her alleged support of his enemies. Cleopatra, ever the strategist, saw this as an opportunity to forge a new alliance with a powerful Roman leader. She arrived in Tarsus in grand style, sailing up the Cydnus River on a lavishly decorated barge dressed as the goddess Aphrodite. Antony, known for his love of luxury and spectacle, was completely captivated. Section 6. The Eastern Dream, Cleopatra and Antony's Ambitions. Cleopatra and Antony's relationship quickly blossomed into both a passionate love affair and a strategic alliance. They shared a vision of a powerful Eastern empire with Egypt at its heart, challenging the dominance of Rome. Cleopatra provided Antony with financial and military support, crucial for his campaigns against Caesar's assassins and his rivals for power in Rome. Their alliance, however, was viewed with suspicion and hostility in Rome. Antony's enemies portrayed Cleopatra as a manipulative seductress, bent on ensnaring him and using him to further her own ambitions. Antony's public pronouncements, including his decision to bestow upon Cleopatra and their children territories in the east, further fueled these suspicions. Despite the growing opposition in Rome, Cleopatra and Antony continued to consolidate their power in the east. Cleopatra bore Antony 3 children twins, Alexander Helios and Cleopatra Selina, and another son, Ptolemy Philadelphus. While Cleopatra and Antony were building their power base in the east, a new threat was emerging in Rome. Octavian, Caesar's great-nephew and adopted heir, was steadily consolidating his own power. Octavian, a shrewd politician and a ruthless strategist, skillfully exploited Roman anxieties about Antony's relationship with Cleopatra and his perceived Easternization. He presented himself as the defender of Roman tradition and virtue, portraying Antony as a traitor, bewitched by a foreign queen. The conflict between Antony and Octavian escalated into open warfare in 32 BC. Octavian declared war on Cleopatra, skillfully framing the conflict as a war against a foreign enemy rather than a civil war against a fellow Roman. The decisive clash between the forces of Cleopatra and Antony and those of Octavian took place in 31 BC at the Battle of Actium, off the western coast of Greece. The battle was a naval engagement, and despite having a larger fleet, Cleopatra and Antony were decisively defeated. The reasons for their defeat were complex. Antony's forces were plagued by desertions, and his battle plans were hampered by indecision and delays. Cleopatra's fleet, while powerful, was ultimately outmaneuvered by Octavian's admiral, Agrippa. The defeat at Actium was a disaster for Cleopatra and Antony. They managed to escape to Egypt, but their forces were shattered, and their dreams of an Eastern empire lay in ruins. Octavian, triumphant, prepared to deliver the final blow. In 30 BC, Octavian's forces invaded Egypt, meeting little resistance. Antony, facing defeat and despair, committed suicide. Cleopatra, unwilling to be paraded through the streets of Rome as a captive in Octavian's triumph, also chose to end her own life. The exact circumstances of Cleopatra's death are shrouded in mystery and legend. The most famous account claims that she died from a venomous snakebite, allowing an asp to bite her. Other accounts suggest she may have used a poisoned hairpin or other means. Regardless of the method, Cleopatra's death on August 12, 30 BC, marked the end of the Ptolemaic dynasty and the absorption of Egypt into the Roman Empire. Octavian, now the undisputed master of the Roman world, had achieved his goal, but at a high cost. Cleopatra, in death, had denied him the ultimate victory of capturing her alive. Her legend, however, would live on, ensuring her place in history as one of the most captivating and controversial figures of the ancient world. Cleopatra's story has captivated imaginations for centuries. She has been the subject of countless works of art, literature and film, her image transformed and reinterpreted through the lens of different cultures and historical periods. Was she a ruthless seductress who used her charms to manipulate powerful men, or a shrewd and capable ruler who fought to preserve her kingdom in a time of turmoil? The truth, as is often the case with historical figures, likely lies somewhere in between these extremes. Cleopatra's legacy is complex and multifaceted. She was the last pharaoh of Egypt, a queen who navigated the treacherous waters of Roman politics with intelligence and determination. She was a lover, a mother, and a ruler who left an indelible mark on history. Her story, a blend of political intrigue, passionate romance, and ultimate tragedy, continues to fascinate and inspire, ensuring that Cleopatra's legend will endure for generations to come. Thebes, the heart of ancient Egypt. Nestled on the banks of the Nile, Thebes was more than just a city. It was the beating heart of a civilization, showcasing human ambition, faith, and artistry. Join us as we uncover the rich history and significance of this ancient city, exploring its grand temples, its royal tombs, and its pivotal role in shaping the story of ancient Egypt. Thebes, even in its ruined state, whispers of a time when it was the religious epicenter of ancient Egypt, particularly during the powerful New Kingdom. Imagine a city alive with the sound of priestly chants, the air thick with the scent of incense burning in honor of Amun-Ra, the king of the gods. Here, within the colossal Karnak temple complex, the Egyptians paid homage to their deities in ceremonies of unparalleled grandeur. The temple, a sprawling testament to their faith, grew over centuries, each pharaoh adding his own mark to this sacred landscape. Luxor Temple, bathed in the golden glow of the setting sun, was a place for ordinary Egyptians to connect with the divine. Together, these two temples formed the spiritual heart of Thebes, a place where the earthly and the divine intertwined. The ancient Egyptians believed in a life after death, a belief reflected in the grandeur of their tombs. Just across the Nile, on the west bank, lies the Theban necropolis, a city of the dead as magnificent as the city of the living. Here, in the Valley of the Kings and the Valley of the Queens, pharaohs and their consorts were laid to rest, surrounded by treasures they believed would accompany them into the afterlife. The tomb of Tutankhamun, a relatively minor pharaoh, yielded a treasure trove of artifacts that captivated the world's imagination. But perhaps even more impressive are the elaborate tombs of rulers like Seti I and Ramses VI, their walls adorned with vibrant scenes from the Book of the Dead. Dotting the landscape are the mortuary temples, grand structures built not for the dead but for their memory. These temples, along with the royal tombs, stand as silent sentinels, guarding the secrets of Egypt's past. For centuries, Thebes was more than just a religious center. It was the vibrant heart of a nation, the capital of a mighty empire. Imagine the bustling streets of Thebes during its zenith, a time when it was known as the City of 100 Gates. Thebes' rise to prominence began during the Middle Kingdom, when Mentuhotep II reunited the two lands after a period of division. He moved the capital to Thebes, laying the foundation for its future glory. But it was during the New Kingdom that Thebes truly flourished, reaching the pinnacle of its power and influence. Under the rule of powerful pharaohs like Thutmose III and Amenhotep III, Thebes became a metropolis, a hub of international trade and a center of art and culture. The city's wealth was evident in its grand temples, its opulent palaces, and the luxurious lifestyle of its elite. Yet, even after losing its political dominance, Thebes remained a city of immense religious and cultural significance, a testament to its glorious past. Few sights on earth can compare to the awe-inspiring grandeur of the Karnak temple complex. Imagine standing before this colossal structure, its towering pylons reaching towards the heavens, a symbol of human devotion and architectural genius. Karnak was not simply a temple. It was a city within a city, a complex of temples, chapels and monuments dedicated to the Theban triad Amun-Ra, Mut and Khonsu. The hypostyle hall, with its forest of massive columns, is perhaps the most iconic image of Karnak. The construction of Karnak spanned over 2 millennia, with each successive pharaoh feeling compelled to leave his mark on this sacred complex. From the massive pylons and obelisks to the intricate reliefs and inscriptions that adorn its walls, Karnak stands as a testament to the ambition, ingenuity, and deep religious fervour of the ancient Egyptians. The story of Thebes is not just one of religious devotion and architectural grandeur, it is also a story of conflict and resilience. Thebes found itself at the heart of several pivotal moments in Egyptian history, times when the very existence of the kingdom was threatened. One such period was the Second Intermediate Period, a time of turmoil and division when Egypt fell under the rule of the Hyksos, a foreign power from the Levant. The Hyksos, with their superior weaponry and military tactics, conquered much of Lower Egypt, pushing the native Egyptian rulers south. Thebes, however, refused to submit. Theban rulers, seeing themselves as the true heirs to the pharaonic legacy, waged a long and bloody war against the Hyksos, a conflict that would determine the fate of Egypt. Finally, under the leadership of Ahmose I, the founder of the 18th dynasty, the Egyptians triumphed. Ahmose I, a Theban prince, drove the Hyksos out of Egypt, reuniting the two lands and ushering in a new era of Egyptian power and prosperity. Thebes, at its zenith, was more than just a political and religious capital. It was the cultural heart of ancient Egypt, a city alive with creativity and artistic innovation. Imagine the workshops of Thebes, filled with skilled artisans, sculptors, painters, weavers, their hands bringing life to stone, wood and fabric, transforming them into works of breathtaking beauty. The tombs and temples of the Theban necropolis offer a glimpse into this vibrant artistic tradition. The walls of these structures are adorned with intricate murals and carvings, each one a masterpiece that speaks volumes about the artistic skill and the religious beliefs of the ancient Egyptians. Theban artists and craftsmen were renowned throughout the ancient world for their skill. Thebes became a centre for the production of luxury goods, from exquisite jewellery and finely crafted furniture to colourful textiles and beautifully painted pottery. Thebes' rise to prominence was fuelled, in part, by its strategic location. Situated on the banks of the Nile, the lifeblood of Egypt, Thebes controlled the agricultural wealth of the surrounding region. Thebes' location also made it a natural hub for trade. Caravans laden with exotic goods from Nubia to the south and Punt to the east converged on Thebes, bringing with them gold, ivory, ebony, incense and other treasures. The wealth generated by this trade enriched the city, filling the coffers of the pharaohs and enabling them to embark on ambitious building projects and military campaigns. The opulence of Thebes was evident in its grand temples and monuments, its luxurious palaces and the lavish lifestyle of its elite. Even the mightiest of empires are not immune to the tides of time. Thebes, for centuries the heart of a civilization, eventually experienced a slow decline, its power and influence waning as new powers rose to prominence in the ancient world. The first blow came in 663 BCE, when the Assyrian king Ashurbanipal sacked Thebes. The Assyrians, a ruthless and efficient military force, had conquered much of the Near East, and Egypt, weakened by internal strife and economic decline, was unable to withstand their onslaught. The sack of Thebes by the Assyrians was a traumatic event for the Egyptians. The city, once considered invincible, was plundered and burned, its temples desecrated, its treasures carried off to Assyria as spoils of war. Thebes never fully recovered from the Assyrian sack. Centuries later, under Roman rule, Thebes was again sacked, this time after a revolt against Roman authority. Thebes may lie in ruins, its grand temples and palaces reduced to rubble, but its story continues to resonate across the millennia. The remains of this once great city, spread across the modern-day city of Luxor, are now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a testament to their enduring historical, architectural and cultural significance. The Karnak and Luxor temple complexes, the Valley of the Kings, the Valley of the Queens, and the numerous other tombs, temples and monuments scattered across the Theban necropolis offer an unparalleled glimpse into the world of ancient Egypt. Today, Thebes is one of Egypt's most popular tourist destinations, attracting visitors from all corners of the globe. Thebes was more than just a physical city. It was a powerful symbol woven deeply into the fabric of Egyptian mythology and religious belief. The Egyptians believed that Thebes was the earthly counterpart of the primordial mound that emerged from the waters of chaos at the beginning of creation. It was here, in the heart of Thebes, that the god Amun-Ra, the king of the gods, was said to have first emerged, bringing light and order to the world. Thebes' association with Amun-Ra elevated it to a position of supreme religious significance. The Opet festival, one of the most important events in the Egyptian religious calendar, was celebrated annually in Thebes. Thebes, in the eyes of the ancient Egyptians, was a sacred city, a place where the boundaries between the earthly and the divine were blurred. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the ancient city of Thebes. From its grand temples that scraped the sky to the whispers of pharaohs in the Valley of the Kings, Thebes stands as a testament to human ambition, ingenuity, and the enduring power of belief. The sands of time have long concealed the daily lives of those who lived in ancient Egypt. Yet beneath the scorching desert sun, whispers from the past remain. Tombs, adorned with intricate paintings and carvings, offer us a unique window into their world. These vibrant scenes, preserved for thousands of years, provide a glimpse into the lives of ancient Egyptians, including their children. The Egyptians believed in life after death, a realm mirroring their earthly existence. They meticulously decorated their tombs with scenes from their daily lives, hoping to carry these experiences into the afterlife. These images, frozen in time, offer us invaluable insights into their customs, beliefs, and even the games their children played. Stepping into the painted chambers of ancient Egyptian tombs is like stepping back in time. We are transported to a world teeming with activity where children are not merely passive observers but active participants in the bustle of daily life. The tombs, particularly those from the Old and Middle Kingdoms, are replete with scenes of children engaging in various activities. These images reveal a society that cherished childhood and recognized the importance of play. Children are often depicted alongside adults participating in chores and celebrations. Their presence in these scenes suggests a close-knit family structure where children were integral members of the household and community. The tomb of Mereruka, a high-ranking official from the 6th dynasty, offers a captivating glimpse into the world of ancient Egyptian children. Among the many vibrant scenes adorning its walls, we find depictions of children engaged in playful acrobatics. These agile youngsters twist and contort their bodies into impressive poses, showcasing their flexibility and balance. One scene depicts a group of children forming a human pyramid, their small bodies balanced precariously atop one another. Another shows a young girl gracefully arched backward, her hands touching the ground behind her. These acrobatic displays were not merely forms of amusement. They were likely part of religious festivals and celebrations, adding an element of spectacle and entertainment to these important events. The rock-cut tombs of Beni Hassan, dating back to the Middle Kingdom, provide further evidence of the importance of movement and dance in ancient Egyptian culture. These tombs, carved meticulously into the cliffs, stand as silent witnesses to the vibrant life that once thrived here. The tombs, belonging to provincial governors, feature scenes of children engaged in a whirling dance, their bodies spinning and twirling with joyous abandon. These images capture the essence of youthful exuberance and the communal spirit of the time. Similarly, the tomb of Keti showcases children caught in mid-twirl, their colourful garments swirling around them like vibrant blossoms. The vivid colours and dynamic poses bring these ancient scenes to life, allowing us to glimpse the past. These whirling dances, likely accompanied by music and rhythmic clapping, were not only a form of entertainment but also a way for children to express themselves creatively and connect with their cultural heritage. Through these dances, they celebrated their identity and passed down traditions from one generation to the next, ensuring the continuity of their rich cultural tapestry. The scorching Egyptian sun dictated much of daily life, and clothing was no exception. The intense heat and relentless sun shaped the way ancient Egyptians dressed, influencing their choice of materials and styles. Ancient Egyptian children, much like their adult counterparts, donned light and airy garments suited to the hot climate. These garments were designed to keep them cool and comfortable, allowing them to go about their daily activities without being hindered by the oppressive heat. Linen, a fabric woven from the flax plant, was the material of choice, its breathable nature providing comfort in the sweltering heat. The process of weaving linen was an essential skill, passed down through generations, ensuring that everyone had access to this vital fabric. Young children, particularly boys, were often depicted wearing little to no clothing, their bare skin allowing them to stay cool under the desert sun. This minimalistic approach to clothing was practical and efficient, helping them avoid overheating. Girls, as they grew older, would wear simple linen dresses, often held up by straps over the shoulders. These dresses were not only functional, but also allowed for a degree of modesty as they transitioned into adulthood. These lightweight garments allowed for ease of movement, essential for active children engaged in play and exploration. The freedom of movement provided by their clothing enabled them to fully enjoy their childhood, exploring the world around them without restriction. The ancient Egyptian concept of childhood extended beyond mere survival. It encompassed play and imagination. Archaeological excavations at Kahun, a workers' town associated with the pyramid of Senusret II, have unearthed a treasure trove of children's toys, providing tangible evidence of their playful pursuits. Among the finds are balls made of woven fibres, their simple construction belying hours of fun spent tossing and catching. Wooden sticks, resembling miniature javelins, hint at games of skill and accuracy, while small carved figurines of animals ignite the imagination, transporting children to a world of make-believe. These toys, simple yet enduring, offer a poignant reminder that the desire for play transcends time and culture. Play in ancient Egypt was not limited to physical activity, it also encompassed games of skill and strategy. These games were an integral part of daily life and were enjoyed by both the young and the old. Board games, in particular, were popular pastimes, enjoyed by people of all ages, including children. These games were often played in the evenings or during festivals, bringing families and communities together. Two of the most well-known ancient Egyptian board games are Senet and Mehen. These games have been discovered in various archaeological sites, indicating their widespread popularity. Senet, a game of strategy played on a long, narrow board with 30 squares, involved moving pieces according to the roll of dice. The game required careful planning and foresight to outmaneuver opponents. The game, often found depicted in tomb paintings, was believed to have religious significance, representing the journey of the soul through the afterlife. It was thought that mastering Senet could help one navigate the challenges of the afterlife. Mehen, named after the snake god, was played on a circular board resembling a coiled serpent. The unique design of the board added an extra layer of complexity to the game. Players would move their pieces around the board, attempting to capture their opponent's pieces. The game required strategic thinking and a deep understanding of the rules to succeed. These games not only provided entertainment, but also honed children's cognitive skills and strategic thinking. They were a vital part of education, teaching important life skills through play. The Nile River, the lifeblood of ancient Egypt, was not only a source of sustenance but also a playground for children seeking respite from the desert heat. Swimming was a popular activity, and tomb scenes often depict children frolicking in the river's cool waters. One scene shows a group of children splashing and playing in the shallows, their laughter echoing through the ages. Another depicts children swimming alongside adults, their bodies sleek and agile in the water. The Nile, despite its inherent dangers, provided a much-needed escape from the scorching sun, offering children a chance to cool off, socialize, and engage in carefree play. The scenes etched into the walls of ancient Egyptian tombs offer us a poignant and enduring glimpse into the lives of children who lived thousands of years ago. These images, imbued with a sense of timelessness, remind us that childhood, with its inherent joys and wonder, transcends time and cultural boundaries. While our knowledge of ancient Egyptian childhood remains fragmentary, these glimpses into their world paint a picture of a society that valued play, creativity, and the importance of family. The toys they cherished, the games they played, and the laughter that undoubtedly filled their days are testaments to the universality of childhood experiences. Ancient Egypt, a civilization that has fascinated historians, archaeologists, and the general public for centuries. The land of pharaohs and pyramids, a place where the sands of time have preserved the grandeur of a bygone era, a place full of mystery and wonder. The ancient ruins whisper tales of gods and kings, of life and death. But behind the giant monuments and strange hieroglyphs, ancient Egypt had a vibrant musical tradition. Music was an integral part of their daily lives. Music was everywhere in this ancient civilization, from simple homes to grand temples. It was a universal language that transcended social classes. Imagine the sun rising over the Nile River, shining on the fields, the gentle hum of the river, the rustling of the reeds, and the distant sound of a flute. Farmers work in their fields, singing ancient songs. These songs were not just for entertainment. They were a way to pass down stories and traditions. In the busy marketplace, musicians play happy tunes, and their music mixes with the sounds of people buying and selling. The marketplace was a hub of activity, and music added to its vibrancy. Inside the temples, priests performed rituals, singing hymns and playing sacred instruments. These rituals were believed to connect them with the divine. Music wasn't just art in ancient Egypt, it was a big part of their lives. It was woven into the fabric of their society. It showed their happiness and sadness, their beliefs and hopes. Music was a reflection of their emotions and their worldview. It connected them to their gods and celebrated life and death. Music was a bridge between the mortal and the divine. Join us as we travel back in time to explore the music of ancient Egypt. We'll delve into the sounds that echoed through the temples and marketplaces. We'll discover their instruments and learn about their musical traditions. From the simple reed flutes to the elaborate harps, each instrument had its own story. This picture shows us the musical culture of ancient Egypt. The wall paintings are a testament to the importance of music in their society. We see musicians playing harps, their fingers deftly plucking the strings to create melodies that have been lost to time. Flutes, their breath giving life to the music, and drums, the heartbeat of their songs. They look skilled and passionate. Their expressions show a deep connection to their craft. This scene reminds us that music was important to them. It was present in their celebrations, their rituals, and their daily lives. It brought them joy, comfort, and a connection to their gods. Music was the soul of ancient Egypt, a timeless echo of a civilization that continues to captivate us. Music wasn't just for rich people or religious ceremonies in ancient Egypt. Everyone enjoyed music. It was a universal language that transcended social classes and was deeply embedded in the fabric of their daily lives. From the grand palaces of the pharaohs to the humble homes of the common folk, music resonated through the air, bringing joy and solace to all who heard it. It was part of everyday life and all kinds of activities. Whether people were working, relaxing, or celebrating, music was always present. It was as essential to their lives as the Nile River, providing a rhythm to their daily routines and marking the passage of time with its melodies. From working in the fields to celebrating at festivals, music was always there. Farmers would sing as they sowed and harvested their crops, their songs echoing across the fertile lands. These melodies not only made the hard work more bearable, but also synchronized their efforts, making the labor more efficient and harmonious. Think about the hard work of building the pyramids, those huge monuments that we still marvel at today. The construction of these colossal structures required immense physical effort and coordination. Music played a crucial role in this process, helping to maintain the workers' morale and keep them in sync. The work was tough, but the workers sang together. Their voices, rising in unison, created a powerful sense of camaraderie and shared purpose. These songs were not just about passing the time, they were a vital part of the work itself, providing a steady rhythm for the labourers to follow. Their voices, rising and falling, gave them a sense of unity and purpose. The melodies and rhythms helped to coordinate their movements, ensuring that each stone was placed with precision and care. This musical collaboration was a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of the ancient Egyptians. These work songs, passed down from parents to children, helped them work together and kept them going. They were a living tradition, a way of preserving the knowledge and skills of previous generations. Through these songs, the wisdom of the past was carried forward, ensuring that each new generation was equipped to face the challenges of their time. In the busy marketplaces where people sold things and met friends, music created a lively atmosphere. The sounds of merchants calling out their wares, the chatter of customers and the melodies of street musicians blended together to create a vibrant and dynamic soundscape. Musicians, both good and not so good, played their instruments, filling the air with music that attracted crowds. These performers were an integral part of the market experience, drawing people in with their tunes and adding to the overall energy and excitement of the place. Drums, flutes and harps all played together, making the marketplace a fun and exciting place. Each instrument added its own unique flavour to the mix, creating a rich tapestry of sound that reflected the diversity and creativity of ancient Egyptian culture. Festivals and celebrations always had music in ancient Egypt. These events were a time for the community to come together, to celebrate their achievements and to honour their gods. Music was at the heart of these gatherings, providing a soundtrack for the festivities and enhancing the sense of joy and togetherness. These happy events, often celebrating the harvest or honouring their gods, were full of music and dancing. The rhythms of the drums and the melodies of the flute set the pace for the dancers, who moved with grace and exuberance. These celebrations were a testament to the vitality and spirit of the ancient Egyptians. Imagine a festival for Hathor, the goddess of love, music and joy. The streets would be filled with people, all dressed in their finest clothes, ready to celebrate and give thanks. The air would be alive with the sounds of music and laughter as people danced and sang in honour of the goddess. The air would be filled with the smell of incense, and the streets would be crowded with people in colourful clothes, dancing to the music. The vibrant colours and the joyful sounds created an atmosphere of celebration and reverence, a perfect reflection of the ancient Egyptians' love for life and their deep connection to their gods. Whether it was the singing of workers, the music in the marketplace, or the happy melodies of festivals, music was always with the ancient Egyptians. It was a constant presence, a source of comfort and joy that accompanied them through all the ups and downs of life. It comforted them when times were hard, made their happy times even better, and connected them to the world around them. Music was a bridge between the human and the divine, a way of expressing their deepest emotions and their highest aspirations. This picture from a tomb shows us a party in ancient Egypt. The scene is filled with life and energy, capturing a moment of joy and celebration that has been preserved for thousands of years. We see musicians entertaining guests. Their presence at the party highlights the importance of music in social gatherings, providing entertainment and enhancing the overall experience for everyone involved. The details of their instruments, how they sit, and even their faces show us how important music was to their parties. These images give us a glimpse into the past, revealing the central role that music played in the lives of the ancient Egyptians, from the grandest festivals to the most intimate gatherings. Ancient Egyptians didn't just see music as entertainment, it was woven into the very fabric of their daily lives and spiritual practices. It was very important to their religion, serving as a bridge between the mortal and the divine. They believed music connected them to their gods, creating a sacred soundscape that facilitated communication with the divine. They even believed some gods created music, attributing the origins of melodies and rhythms to divine inspiration. Hathor, the cow goddess, was connected to music, dance, and joy. She was often depicted with a sistrum, a musical instrument that symbolized her role as a goddess of music. They believed her music was magical and could make both gods and people happy, bringing joy and harmony to the world. Bes, the dwarf god, often shown with a mask and a musical instrument, protected homes and was a patron of music and dance. His presence was believed to ward off evil spirits and bring good fortune. These gods show us how important music was to their religion, as it was intertwined with their beliefs and daily practices. Temples were filled with music, especially during religious ceremonies. The sound of instruments and chanting created an atmosphere of reverence and devotion. Priests, who were often skilled musicians, played music to honor the gods, ask for their help, and keep them happy. Their musical performances were seen as offerings, a way to gain favor and ensure the gods' blessings. The sistrum, a kind of rattle, was often played by goddesses. Its distinctive sound was believed to have protective qualities. They believed its shaking sound kept away evil and brought divine protection, creating a sacred space free from negative influences. Playing music was a sacred duty, a way to talk to the gods and keep the world in balance. It was an essential part of their religious rituals and ceremonies. Musicians, especially those in temples, were important people. They were highly respected and their skills were considered divine gifts. Their skills were seen as gifts from the gods, and their music was a way to honor these divine gifts. Their music wasn't just entertainment, it was a way to pray and offer gifts to the heavens. Each note and rhythm was a form of worship, a way to connect with the divine. The importance of music in ancient Egyptian religion reminds us of the power of music. It was a tool for spiritual connection, a means to express faith, and a way to find comfort in the mysteries of life. It can connect us to something bigger than ourselves, transcending the mundane and touching the divine. Their beliefs, though different from ours, show us how music has always been used to express faith, find comfort, and celebrate the mysteries of the universe. The melodies and rhythms of ancient Egypt continue to echo through time, reminding us of the timeless connection between music and spirituality. This beautiful sistrum, with its carvings and sacred pictures, shows us how much they respected their instruments. Each instrument was not just a tool, but a sacred object imbued with spiritual significance. The shaking of this instrument inside a temple would have created a feeling of awe and reverence, connecting people to their gods. The sound resonated through the sacred halls, a reminder of the divine presence in their lives. Ancient Egypt, a land of towering pyramids, enigmatic pharaohs, and a rich tapestry of gods and goddesses. This ancient civilization, with its grand monuments and intricate mythology, has fascinated historians and enthusiasts alike for centuries. It is here, on the fertile banks of the Nile, that our story begins. The river, a lifeline for the people, provided the sustenance needed for agriculture and the flourishing of civilization. Legend tells of a time when the god Seth, consumed by jealousy, murdered his brother Osiris. This act of betrayal set off a chain of events that would forever change the course of Egyptian mythology. Osiris's son Horus sought to avenge his father and reclaim his rightful place as ruler. Horus, the falcon-headed god, was determined to restore balance and justice to the land. In a fierce battle with Seth, Horus lost an eye. This battle was not just a physical confrontation, but a cosmic struggle between order and chaos. From this lost eye, a single tear fell to the earth. This tear, filled with divine power and sorrow, held the essence of Horus's sacrifice and determination. This tear, imbued with the divine essence of Horus, sprouted into the first grapevine. The vine, nurtured by the gods, grew strong and bore fruit that would become a sacred elixir. Thus, wine was born, a gift from the gods to mortals. This divine beverage was believed to carry the blessings and power of the gods themselves. This captivating myth highlights the profound significance of wine in ancient Egyptian culture. It was revered not just for its taste, but for its spiritual and symbolic meanings. It was more than just a beverage. It was a symbol of life, death, and resurrection. Wine played a crucial role in rituals and ceremonies, symbolizing the eternal cycle of life and the afterlife. Wine was intricately woven into the fabric of Egyptian society, playing a pivotal role in their religious ceremonies, economic activities, and daily lives. From the grand feasts of the pharaohs to the humble gatherings of common folk, wine was a cherished part of their existence, a tribute to the enduring legacy of this ancient civilization. The cultivation of vineyards and the production of wine were sophisticated processes reflecting the ingenuity and dedication of the ancient Egyptians. They developed advanced techniques for growing grapes and fermenting wine, ensuring a steady supply of this precious liquid. Wine also played a significant role in the economy of ancient Egypt. It was traded extensively, both within the kingdom and with neighboring regions. This trade not only brought wealth but also facilitated cultural exchanges, spreading the influence of Egyptian wine far and wide. In religious rituals, wine was offered to the gods as a symbol of devotion and reverence. It was believed that the gods themselves partook in these offerings, further sanctifying the bond between the divine and the mortal realms. Festivals and celebrations often featured wine prominently, as it was a symbol of joy and abundance. These gatherings were occasions for the community to come together, share in the bounty of the land, and honor the gods who blessed them with this divine gift. The legacy of wine in ancient Egypt is preserved in their art and artifacts. From intricate depictions on tomb walls to the discovery of ancient wine jars, these remnants offer a glimpse into the cultural and spiritual significance of wine in this remarkable civilization. Today, the echoes of this ancient tradition can still be felt. The vineyards of modern-day Egypt stand as a tribute to the enduring legacy of their ancestors, who first cultivated the divine grapevine and crafted the sacred elixir that would become a symbol of life, death, and rebirth. Archaeological evidence suggests that winemaking in Egypt dates back to 3150 BCE. This ancient practice has been uncovered through the discovery of pottery shards and remnants of wine jars, providing a glimpse into the sophisticated techniques used by the Egyptians. This places it among the earliest known centers of viticulture in the world. The fertile lands along the Nile provided ideal conditions for grape cultivation, making Egypt a prominent player in the early history of winemaking. The ancient Egyptians were skilled vintners, cultivating vineyards along the Nile Delta and producing a variety of wines. These vineyards were meticulously maintained, with workers tending to the vines and ensuring a bountiful harvest each season. The importance of wine is evident in numerous historical texts and tomb paintings. These artworks and writings not only highlight the cultural significance of wine, but also provide detailed accounts of its production and consumption. Wine is frequently mentioned in hieroglyphic inscriptions, often alongside offerings to the gods. These inscriptions reveal that wine was considered a sacred beverage used in religious ceremonies and rituals to honor the deities. Elaborate scenes depict the entire winemaking process from harvesting grapes to pressing and fermentation. These depictions show the labor-intensive methods employed by the Egyptians, highlighting their dedication to producing high-quality wine. Wine was enjoyed by people from all walks of life, from the pharaoh to the peasant. It was a symbol of social status and celebration, often consumed during feasts and special occasions. It was a staple of the Egyptian diet, consumed daily with meals. Wine accompanied a variety of dishes, enhancing the flavors and making everyday dining a more enjoyable experience. Wine was also an important trade commodity, exported to neighboring lands. The trade of wine helped to establish and strengthen Egypt's connections with other cultures and civilizations, and contributing to Egypt's economic prosperity. The wine trade played a crucial role in the economic development of ancient Egypt, providing wealth and resources that supported the growth of the civilization. The Egyptians also developed advanced methods for storing and preserving wine. Large wine cellars and storage jars were used to keep the wine fresh, ensuring that it could be enjoyed throughout the year. Wine was central to many festivals and celebrations, often used in religious ceremonies to honor the gods. These events were marked by elaborate feasts and communal gatherings where wine flowed freely. The vessels used to store and serve wine were often beautifully decorated, reflecting the importance of wine in Egyptian society. These ornate containers were crafted with great care and skill, showcasing the artistry of the ancient Egyptians. Some wine jars even featured labels and inscriptions indicating the type of wine and its origin. These markings provide valuable insights into the varieties of wine produced and the regions where they were made. The Egyptians were also connoisseurs of wine, with a keen appreciation for its quality and flavor. While wine flowed freely in ancient Egypt, another liquid held equal, if not greater, importance: oil. Just as the Nile nourished their vineyards, it also provided the raw materials for a diverse range of oils, each with unique properties and applications. These oils were not mere cooking ingredients. They were the lifeblood of ancient Egyptian society. They illuminated their homes, adorned their bodies, and played a central role in their religious ceremonies. From the humblest peasant to the mighty pharaoh, life in ancient Egypt was intricately intertwined with the versatile gifts of oil. The production of oil was a meticulous process involving the careful selection and pressing of various plants and seeds. Oils were stored in beautifully crafted jars and amphoras, and they were traded extensively, both within Egypt and with neighboring regions. In daily life, oils were used for cooking, medicinal purposes, and even in beauty rituals, highlighting their multifaceted importance. Temples and religious sites often received offerings of oil, symbolizing purity and devotion, as depicted in numerous hieroglyphs and artworks. During festivals and celebrations, oil lamps would light up the night, creating a warm and inviting atmosphere that brought communities together. Truly, the story of ancient Egypt cannot be told without acknowledging the profound impact of oil on every aspect of their civilization. The ancient Egyptians were masters of extracting oils from a variety of sources. They developed sophisticated techniques to ensure the highest quality of oil. While olives were not native to Egypt, they cultivated other oil-rich plants along the Nile Valley. The fertile soil and abundant water supply made it an ideal location for growing these plants. Flax, sesame, castor beans, and moringa seeds were all prized for their oil content. Each plant had its own unique properties and uses, making them valuable commodities in ancient Egyptian society. These oils had a multitude of uses, reflecting the ingenuity and resourcefulness of the ancient Egyptians. They were stored in specially designed containers to preserve their quality and potency. They served as fuel for lamps, providing light in homes and temples. The soft, steady glow of oil lamps was essential for daily life and religious ceremonies. They were incorporated into cosmetics, perfumes, and ointments, enhancing beauty and promoting hygiene. Oils were mixed with various herbs and flowers to create luxurious and fragrant products. Oils were also indispensable in religious rituals. They were believed to have purifying and protective properties, making them essential for sacred ceremonies. They were used to anoint sacred objects, consecrate temples, and embalm the dead. The process of embalming was intricate and required large quantities of oil to preserve the body for the afterlife. Each type of oil possessed unique properties that dictated its specific uses. These oils were not just commodities, they were integral to the daily lives and spiritual practices of the ancient Egyptians. Castor oil, extracted from castor beans, was highly valued for its medicinal properties. The ancient Egyptians recognized its potent healing abilities and incorporated it into their medical practices. It was used as a laxative, an anti-inflammatory agent, and even as a labor inducer. Castor oil's versatility made it a staple in ancient Egyptian medicine, often prescribed by healers for various ailments. Sesame oil, with its pleasant aroma and long shelf life, was a staple in Egyptian kitchens. It was not only valued for its culinary uses, but also for its nutritional benefits. It was used for cooking, baking, and as a flavor enhancer. The rich, nutty flavor of sesame oil added depth to many traditional dishes, making it a favorite among ancient chefs. Sesame oil was also a key ingredient in perfumes and cosmetics. Its ability to blend well with other ingredients made it ideal for creating luxurious beauty products. Moringa oil, extracted from the seeds of the moringa tree, was prized for its moisturizing and healing properties. The ancient Egyptians used it extensively in their skincare routines. It was used to treat skin conditions, heal wounds, and protect the skin from the harsh desert sun. Moringa oil's protective qualities were essential for maintaining healthy skin in the arid climate. Moringa oil was also used in religious ceremonies, symbolizing purity and renewal. Its sacred status underscored the deep connection between the Egyptians and their natural environment, highlighting the spiritual significance of these ancient oils. The trade of these oils was a significant aspect of the ancient Egyptian economy. Markets were bustling with merchants, trading these precious oils, which were highly sought after both locally and in foreign lands. Oils were transported along the Nile and beyond, reaching distant lands through extensive trade networks. Wine and oil, two seemingly simple liquids, played a profound role in shaping ancient Egyptian culture and society. These liquids were not just for consumption, they were deeply woven into the fabric of daily life and spiritual practices. They were not merely consumables, but integral elements of their religious beliefs, economic activities, and daily lives. The use of wine and oil extended beyond the mundane, reaching into the sacred and the ceremonial. From the tears of Horus to the fertile banks of the Nile, wine and oil flowed through the veins of ancient Egypt, leaving an indelible mark on their history. Today, as we explore the ruins and artifacts of ancient Egypt, we gain a deeper understanding of how wine and oil were more than just commodities. They were symbols of life, sustenance, and divine connection, bridging the past with the present. The story of wine and oil in ancient Egypt is a testament to the civilization's enduring legacy. As the sun sets over the Nile, we are reminded of the timeless nature of these elements and their everlasting impact on history. Howard Carter's name is synonymous with ancient Egypt, a name that echoes through the annals of history. Born in 1874, his early life was far from the scorching sands and ancient tombs he would become known for. Instead, it was filled with the lush greenery and serene landscapes of 19th century England. He grew up in a small village in Norfolk, England, a place that seemed worlds away from the mysteries of the ancient world. His father, a gifted artist, instilled in him a love for art and meticulous detail. This artistic environment nurtured his budding talents. Young Carter was a keen observer, fascinated by the natural world. He would spend countless hours exploring the countryside, observing the intricate details of plants and animals. He spent hours sketching the flora and fauna around his home, capturing the beauty of nature with his pencil. This eye for detail, nurtured from a young age, would prove crucial in his later archaeological pursuits. His sketches were not just drawings, they were detailed studies that honed his observational skills. Carter's formal education was limited, but his thirst for knowledge was insatiable. He devoured books, especially those that transported him to distant lands and ancient times. He was particularly drawn to the ancient world, captivated by stories of lost civilizations and the mysteries they held. Museums and books became his windows to these far-off places. This fascination, combined with his artistic talent, led him to the path of archaeology. He began to dream of uncovering the secrets of the past. At the age of 17, a pivotal opportunity arose. A letter arrived that would change the course of his life forever. Carter was invited to join the Egypt Exploration Fund as a tracer. This was a dream come true for the young artist and aspiring archaeologist. This marked the beginning of his lifelong love affair with Egypt, a journey that would lead him to some of the most significant archaeological discoveries of all time. Arriving in Egypt in 1891, Carter was immediately enthralled by the land's rich history and culture. The bustling streets, the vibrant markets, and the ancient ruins all seemed to whisper secrets of a bygone era. The ancient monuments, the hieroglyphics, the sheer weight of history captivated his imagination. The pyramids stood as silent sentinels of a grand civilization, while the Sphinx, with its enigmatic gaze, seemed to challenge him to uncover its mysteries. He diligently copied inscriptions and drawings, honing his skills under the guidance of experienced archaeologists. Each stroke of his pen was a step closer to understanding the lives and beliefs of the ancient Egyptians. Carter quickly established a reputation for his meticulous work and keen eye. His attention to detail and unwavering dedication set him apart from his peers, earning him respect and admiration in the archaeological community. He was not simply tracing the past, he was breathing life into it, recreating the artistry of ancient Egyptians with remarkable precision. His reconstructions were so vivid that they seemed to transport viewers back in time, allowing them to witness the grandeur of ancient Egypt firsthand. His talent did not go unnoticed. In 1899, at the young age of 25, Carter was appointed Chief Inspector of Monuments for Upper Egypt by the Egyptian Antiquities Service. This prestigious position was a testament to his burgeoning reputation and his potential to make significant contributions to the field. This was a remarkable achievement, a testament to his burgeoning reputation in the field. It was a role that came with immense responsibility, but Carter embraced it with enthusiasm and determination. Carter thrived in this role. He oversaw excavations, meticulously documented findings, and passionately advocated for the preservation of Egypt's fragile heritage. His efforts ensured that the stories of ancient Egypt would be preserved for future generations to study and appreciate. He was laying the groundwork for his most significant discovery, one that would forever etch his name in the annals of history. The Valley of the Kings, with its hidden tombs and untold treasures, awaited his exploration. Little did he know, he was on the brink of uncovering a find that would captivate the world and redefine our understanding of ancient Egypt. In 1907, a fateful meeting occurred that would change the course of Carter's career. He was introduced to George Herbert, the 5th Earl of Carnarvon, a wealthy British aristocrat with a passion for Egyptology. Carnarvon was immediately impressed by Carter's knowledge and enthusiasm. He agreed to finance Carter's excavations, providing the much-needed resources to pursue his archaeological dreams. Thus began a partnership that would become legendary. Carnarvon, with his wealth and influence, provided the financial backing. Carter, the passionate and dedicated archaeologist, provided the expertise and unwavering determination. Together, they formed a formidable team. Their shared goal to uncover the tomb of a little-known pharaoh named Tutankhamun, believed to be hidden somewhere in the Valley of the Kings. Little did they know, this quest would consume them for years to come. The Valley of the Kings, a desolate yet majestic landscape, became Carter's obsession. Year after year, he meticulously excavated, his team sifting through sand and rubble under the scorching Egyptian sun. The work was arduous and often disheartening. False leads, dead ends, and the constant pressure of expectation weighed heavily on Carter. Yet he persevered, driven by an unshakable belief that Tutankhamun's tomb lay hidden beneath the sands. Carnarvon, though initially enthusiastic, grew increasingly impatient with the lack of results. The annual expeditions were costly, and doubts began to creep in. However, Carter's unwavering belief eventually convinced Carnarvon to fund one final season. This last-ditch effort, a testament to both men's faith and determination, would prove to be the most significant in archaeological history. A fateful discovery, uncovering the steps to Tutankhamun's tomb. November 4th, 1922, dawned like any other day in the Valley of the Kings. The air was crisp and the golden hues of the rising sun bathed the ancient landscape in a mystical glow. Carter's team, weary from years of toil, began work on a new section, clearing debris near the tomb of Ramesses VI. They had been at this for so long, their hopes often dashed by false leads and empty chambers. As they dug, they stumbled upon a series of steps cut into the rock. The discovery was unexpected, a glimmer of hope in their relentless pursuit. Excitement rippled through the team. The air buzzed with anticipation and the possibility of a monumental find. Could this be it? Could this be the entrance they had been tirelessly searching for? The questions hung in the air, heavy with expectation. Carter, cautious yet optimistic, ordered the steps to be cleared. Every movement was deliberate, every action filled with the weight of history. As the sand and rubble were removed, a sealed doorway emerged, marked with the necropolis seal. Hope surged through Carter. This seal was a sign, a promise of something extraordinary. This was no ordinary tomb. The intricate designs and the seal suggested something far more significant. With bated breath, Carter sent a telegram to Carnarvon, who was back in England. The message was brief but filled with excitement and urgency. At last have made wonderful discovery in Valley, a magnificent tomb with seals intact, recovered same for your arrival, congratulations. The words were simple, yet they carried the weight of years of effort and dreams. The world was about to rediscover Tutankhamun. This was the beginning of a journey that would captivate the imagination of millions and rewrite history. As Carter and his team delved deeper into the tomb, they uncovered a treasure trove of artifacts. Each item, meticulously crafted, told a story of a bygone era. The sheer opulence of the burial goods was staggering, revealing the immense wealth and craftsmanship of ancient Egypt. From golden chariots to intricate jewelry, the tomb was a testament to the grandeur of Tutankhamun's reign. The discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb sparked a global fascination with ancient Egypt. Known as Egyptomania, this cultural phenomenon saw Egyptian motifs influencing everything from fashion to architecture. Museums around the world scrambled to exhibit Egyptian artifacts, and the public's appetite for all things Egyptian seemed insatiable. This newfound interest not only brought ancient history to the forefront, but also inspired a generation of archaeologists and historians. The excavation of Tutankhamun's tomb revolutionized the field of archaeology. It set new standards for excavation techniques and documentation, ensuring that future discoveries would be preserved with the utmost care. Moreover, Tutankhamun's legacy permeated popular culture, from movies and literature to art and music. The boy king became a symbol of mystery and adventure, captivating the imagination of people across the globe. Even today, the allure of Tutankhamun endures. His tomb remains one of the most visited sites in Egypt, drawing millions of tourists each year. The treasures of Tutankhamun continue to tour the world, enchanting audiences with their beauty and historical significance. The story of the boy king, discovered almost a century ago, still resonates, reminding us of the timeless fascination with ancient Egypt and its enigmatic pharaohs. France in the late 18th century was a nation ablaze with revolution and ambition. The streets of Paris echoed with the cries of liberty, equality and fraternity as the old order was dismantled and a new era began to take shape. The French Revolution had reshaped the political landscape, toppling monarchies and challenging the very foundations of European society. It was a time of great upheaval and even greater possibilities. Amidst this chaos, a young general named Napoleon Bonaparte was rising to prominence. His military prowess and strategic genius were quickly becoming the stuff of legend. His eyes were set on glory, and his gaze fell upon the ancient land of Egypt. To him, Egypt was not just a distant land, but a gateway to immortality.
Egypt, once a cradle of civilization, is now a strategic prize. Its location at the crossroads of Africa and Asia made it a key to controlling trade routes and exerting influence over the region. It holds the promise of disrupting British trade routes to India and expanding French influence. Control over Egypt could shift the balance of power in Europe.
Napoleon, however, saw beyond the geopolitical chessboard. He was not just a soldier, he was a visionary. He was captivated by the stories of Egypt's glorious past. The land of the Pharaohs, with its pyramids and ancient mysteries, called to him like a siren song. The Pharaohs, the pyramids, the mysteries of a lost civilization, these ignited a fire in his imagination. He dreamed of uncovering the secrets that had been buried for millennia.
Not just as a conqueror, but as a patron of knowledge, a beacon of enlightenment in a world shrouded in darkness. Uncovering the secrets buried beneath the sands. The treasures of Egypt were not just gold and jewels, but the wisdom of an ancient civilization.
In 1798, Napoleon embarked on his Egyptian expedition. It was a bold and audacious move, one that would test his leadership and vision. He carried with him not just the might of the French army, but the hopes and dreams of a nation, but also a contingent of scholars, scientists and artists. This was no ordinary military campaign. It was a quest for knowledge. This was a dual mission, to conquer Egypt and to unravel its ancient mysteries. The expedition was as much about discovery as it was about domination.
The expedition resonates with the spirit of the Enlightenment. It was a time when reason and science were seen as the keys to unlocking the mysteries of the world. Europe is in the throes of intellectual curiosity, eager to rediscover its classical past. The scholars who accompanied Napoleon were driven by a thirst for knowledge, eager to rediscover its classical past. They sought to bring the light of understanding to the dark corners of history. Egypt, with its ancient civilization and enigmatic monuments, holds an irresistible allure. It was a land of wonder and mystery, waiting to be explored.
The expedition was a testament to Napoleon's belief in the power of knowledge, even as he waged war. He saw himself as a bridge between the past and the future. Even as he waged war, the battles fought in the sands of Egypt were not just for territory, but for the soul of a civilization. He saw the conquest of Egypt not just as a military objective, but as an opportunity to advance human understanding. It was a chance to rewrite history. Little did he know that his expedition would spark a global fascination with ancient Egypt, igniting a passion that would span centuries, giving birth to the field of Egyptology. Scholars from around the world would flock to Egypt, drawn by the allure of its ancient secrets, and forever changing our understanding of this ancient civilization. The legacy of Napoleon's Egyptian expedition is one of discovery, knowledge, and an unending quest for the truth. Napoleon's armada set sail from Toulon harbour, its destination the shores of Egypt. This ambitious expedition was not just a military endeavour, but a grand vision of conquest and enlightenment. The ships were laden not only with soldiers and weaponry, but also with scientific instruments, books and art supplies. Napoleon envisioned a new era of discovery, where the might of the French military would be complemented by the intellectual prowess of its scholars. The French troops landed in Alexandria in July 1798, quickly overwhelming the city's defences. The initial success was a testament to the meticulous planning and sheer force of Napoleon's army.
Promising to free the Egyptians from Ottoman rule, my words were meant to inspire and win the hearts of the local population, portraying the French as their saviors.
His words, however, rang hollow as the French army advanced southwards, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Villages were razed and the local populace suffered under the harsh realities of war. The Battle of the Pyramids, fought on the outskirts of Cairo, was a testament to French military might. The sight of the ancient pyramids standing witness to the clash of modern armies was both awe-inspiring and tragic. The Mamluk cavalry, though renowned for their prowess, was no match for the disciplined volleys of the French infantry. The battle showcased the superiority of French tactics and the devastating effectiveness of their firepower. Cairo fell into French hands, and with it, control of the Nile Delta. This strategic victory allowed the French to establish a foothold in Egypt, but it also marked the beginning of a prolonged and arduous campaign. But the conquest was far from over. The French faced continuous resistance from local forces and the looming threat of foreign intervention. The British Navy, sensing a threat to their interests in the region, engaged the French fleet at the Battle of the Nile. This confrontation would prove to be a pivotal moment in the campaign. The French, caught unawares in Abu Qir Bay, suffered a crushing defeat. The loss of their fleet was a devastating blow, isolating Napoleon's forces in a hostile land. This naval disaster effectively stranded Napoleon's army in Egypt, cutting off their supply lines and reinforcements. The French soldiers, now isolated, had to rely on their resourcefulness and resilience to survive. The siege of Acre, however, proved to be a turning point. The Ottoman defenders, backed by British naval support, repelled repeated French assaults. The fortifications of Acre stood strong against the relentless French attacks. Napoleon, facing mounting casualties and news of unrest back in France, was forced to abandon the siege. The dream of a swift and glorious conquest was slipping away. His dreams of conquering the East lay shattered. The once ambitious campaign had turned into a struggle for survival and a race against time. His Egyptian adventure, though ultimately a military failure, had planted the seeds for something far greater, a renaissance in the study of ancient Egypt. The scholars who accompanied the expedition made groundbreaking discoveries, uncovering the mysteries of a civilization long forgotten. Among these discoveries was the Rosetta Stone, a key to unlocking the secrets of Egyptian hieroglyphics. This artifact would become one of the most important tools in the study of ancient languages and cultures. The work of these scholars culminated in the monumental Description de l'Égypte, a comprehensive record of the expedition's findings. This publication would inspire generations of historians, archaeologists, and Egyptologists. Today, the legacy of Napoleon's Egyptian campaign lives on in the continued fascination with ancient Egypt. The treasures uncovered and the knowledge gained have left an indelible mark on our understanding of history. Napoleon's invasion of Egypt, though driven by imperial ambitions, also marked the beginning of a new era of intellectual exploration. This campaign was not just about territorial conquest, it was also about the conquest of knowledge. Alongside his soldiers, Napoleon brought with him a carefully selected group of over 160 scholars, scientists, artists, and engineers. These individuals were not mere observers. They were active participants in a grand experiment to uncover the secrets of an ancient civilization. This group, known as the Commission of the Sciences and Arts of Egypt, was tasked with a unique mission to systematically study and document the ancient civilization they were conquering. Their work would go on to influence generations of historians, archaeologists and scholars, meticulously recording their observations of ancient monuments, deciphering hieroglyphs and studying local customs. Their efforts were not limited to grand temples and pyramids. They also documented everyday life, providing a comprehensive picture of Egyptian society. Their work, conducted amidst the chaos of war, laid the foundation for our modern understanding of ancient Egypt. Despite the constant threat of conflict, these scholars remained focused on their mission, driven by a passion for discovery. For the first time, Europe was getting a glimpse of Egypt not through the distorted lens of myth and legend, but through the objective eyes of science. This shift in perspective was revolutionary, challenging long-held beliefs and sparking a new era of Egyptology. These scholars, driven by a thirst for knowledge, braved the scorching desert heat, the threat of disease, and the constant dangers of war. Their resilience and dedication were remarkable as they navigated both the physical and intellectual challenges of their work. Their dedication to their task, even as battles raged around them, stands as a testament to the enduring power of human curiosity. They were not deterred by the chaos around them. Instead, they used it as a backdrop for their groundbreaking research. Deep in the heart of the Sinai Peninsula, amidst a rugged and unforgiving landscape, rises a mountain shrouded in mystery and legend. This is a place where the harshness of the desert meets the sublime beauty of nature, creating a setting that feels both timeless and otherworldly. Mount Sinai, known also as JBLMWS, Jabal Musa in Arabic, meaning Moses' mountain, has captivated the hearts and minds of people for millennia. It is a site of profound historical and spiritual significance, revered by multiple faiths and cultures. Its towering peaks and desolate beauty whisper tales of ancient prophets and divine encounters. The mountain stands as a silent witness to the passage of time, its rugged slopes etched with the stories of those who have come seeking answers and enlightenment. The very air around Mount Sinai seems to crackle with an unseen energy, a palpable sense of the sacred that has drawn pilgrims and seekers for centuries. Each step taken on its ancient paths feels like a journey through history, a connection to something greater than oneself. The silence of the desert, broken only by the wind whistling through the canyons, invites contemplation and introspection. It is a silence that speaks volumes, offering a space for reflection and a deeper understanding of one's place in the universe. It is a place where the veil between the earthly and the divine feels thin, where the echoes of ancient events still reverberate through the ages. The ancient ruins and relics scattered across the mountains serve as a testament to its enduring significance, a reminder of the countless souls who have been touched by its mystique. The history of Mount Sinai stretches back through the mists of time, intertwined with the very fabric of human civilization. The earliest mention of the mountain can be traced back to ancient Egyptian texts, where it was known as the Mountain of the Moon. The Egyptians believed that the goddess Hathor, the deity of love, beauty, music, dancing, fertility and joy, resided on the mountain. They mined turquoise in the area and built temples at its base, evidence of their deep reverence for this sacred place. The legacy of their presence can still be seen today in the ruins and artifacts scattered across the landscape. Mount Sinai holds a unique place in the history of the world's great Abrahamic religions. For Jews, Christians, and Muslims alike, it is revered as the site where Moses received the Ten Commandments from God. This pivotal event, recounted in the book of Exodus, forever linked Mount Sinai with divine revelation and the establishment of moral law. For Christians, Mount Sinai represents the tangible manifestation of God's covenant with his people. It symbolizes the meeting point between heaven and earth, a place where the divine will was made known to humanity. Muslims too revere Moses as a prophet and recognize the importance of Mount Sinai in his story. Over the centuries, Mount Sinai has become a tapestry woven with the threads of different cultures and beliefs. This sacred mountain stands as a testament to the rich history and spiritual significance that it holds for so many people around the world. Bedouin tribes, who have called the Sinai Desert home for generations, have their own stories and traditions associated with the mountain. These nomadic people have passed down their legends and customs through countless generations, each adding their own layer to the mountain's mystique. They believe that the mountain is inhabited by jinn, or spirits, and treat it with respect and reverence. The Bedouins' rituals and practices are deeply intertwined with the natural landscape, reflecting a profound connection to the earth and the unseen forces they believe dwell within it. For many, a visit to Mount Sinai is a deeply spiritual experience, a pilgrimage to a place where they can connect with the divine and reflect on the deeper meaning of life. Pilgrims from various faiths come here seeking solace, enlightenment, and a sense of peace that only such a sacred site can provide. The mountain has a way of stripping away the superficial and revealing the raw essence of the human spirit. In the quiet moments at the summit, one can feel a profound sense of clarity and purpose, as if the mountain itself whispers ancient truths to those who are willing to listen. Beyond its religious and historical significance, Mount Sinai is also home to a surprising array of natural wonders. Hidden within its canyons and valleys are ancient rock formations, secret springs, and a diverse range of plant and animal life. The mountain is a haven for ibexes, gazelles, and other desert creatures that have adapted to its harsh conditions. In an age of globalization and technological advancement, it is easy to feel disconnected from the natural world and the spiritual dimensions of life. Yet, Mount Sinai stands as a timeless reminder of the enduring power of faith, the beauty of the natural world, and the interconnectedness of all things. Whether one is drawn to Mount Sinai for its religious significance, its historical legacy, or simply its raw natural beauty, the mountain has a way of leaving an indelible mark on the soul. It is a place that challenges, inspires, and ultimately transforms. The traditional pilgrimage to the summit of Mount Sinai is a challenging but rewarding experience. There are two main routes to the top. The longer and more gradual ascent is via the Camel Trail, a winding path that can be traversed on foot or by camel. The more challenging but quicker route is the Steps of Repentance, a steep staircase of over 3,750 steps carved into the mountainside by a repentant monk. The ascent is usually made at night to avoid the scorching heat of the day and to reach the summit in time for sunrise. At the summit of Mount Sinai lies St. Catherine's Monastery, one of the oldest continuously operating Christian monasteries in the world. Founded in the 6th century AD, the monastery is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and houses a treasure trove of religious art, manuscripts and icons. The monastery's library is renowned for its collection of ancient texts, including the Codex Sinaiticus, one of the oldest surviving manuscripts of the Bible. The monastery is a testament to the enduring power of faith and the human spirit's ability to thrive in even the harshest of environments. Mount Sinai stands as a timeless symbol of faith, history, and natural wonder. For millennia, its towering peaks have drawn pilgrims, adventurers, and seekers from all over the world. Its story is interwoven with the very fabric of human civilization, and its legacy continues to inspire and intrigue us today. As long as humans gaze up at the stars and ponder the mysteries of life, Mount Sinai will continue to hold a special place in our hearts and imaginations. It is a place where the veil between heaven and earth feels thin, where the whispers of the divine can still be heard in the wind.
In the 19th century, Egypt stood at the crossroads of time, where the ancient and the modern converged in a dramatic clash. The allure of Egypt's storied past drew travelers from around the world, but this fascination came at a steep cost. The land of the Pharaohs faced an unprecedented threat to its archaeological heritage. In this documentary, we embark on a journey through time, unearthing the gripping tale of how Egypt's treasures were imperiled and ultimately safeguarded. As the 19th century unfolded, Egypt's archaeological heritage found itself under siege. The lure of quick fortunes drove Egyptians and foreigners alike to ransack the sacred sites that held the secrets of ancient Egypt. Artifacts, coveted for their historical and monetary value, were pilfered, and the very monuments that had stood for millennia were desecrated. The lucrative antiquities trade led to the widespread quarrying of stones from ancient structures, further eroding Egypt's cultural legacy. Ancient mud bricks known as sebaq became a commodity, stripped from historical sites and repurposed for everyday construction. It was a time of profound peril for Egypt's rich history. In 1858, a pivotal moment in Egypt's history unfolded, when the Viceroy of Egypt recognized the urgent need to protect his nation's archaeological treasures. He took the momentous step of establishing the Antiquities Service, marking the birth of organized conservation efforts in Egypt. Supported by a dedicated team of foreign scholars, Auguste Mariette emerged as a stalwart guardian of Egypt's heritage. His unwavering commitment to preserving the past took him across Egypt and into Nubia, where he intervened on nearly every major archaeological site. Under his leadership, a glimmer of hope began to shine through the encroaching darkness. Auguste Mariette was acutely aware of the need to safeguard Egypt's unearthed artifacts within its borders. In 1858, he passionately advocated for the creation of a dedicated museum, a sanctuary where these treasures could find a permanent home. This museum would go on to become the illustrious Egyptian Museum, now renowned worldwide. Inside its hallowed halls, countless artifacts from Egypt's past are carefully preserved, a testament to Mariette's vision and the enduring importance of Egypt's historical legacy. Following Mariette's tenure, Gaston Mars Perrault assumed the mantle of leadership within the Antiquities Service. Under his guidance, the service expanded and underwent critical reforms. Laws were enacted to regulate the export of priceless artifacts, striking a balance between sharing Egypt's heritage with the world and protecting it from irreparable harm. French scholars continued to guide the Antiquities Service until the 1950s, when the reins were finally handed over to Egyptian hands. The transition marked a new era in the guardianship of Egypt's archaeological treasures. As the 19th century gave way to the 20th, Egyptology emerged as a recognized discipline within both private institutions and learned societies. Among its luminaries was Jean-Claude Golvin, a French architect, archaeologist, and researcher whose passion lay in the artistic reconstruction of ancient Egyptian cities and monuments. Goldwyn's work was nothing short of mesmerizing, encompassing over 800 meticulously detailed drawings. His 3 volumes on the reconstitution of ancient Egypt continue to grace books and museums worldwide, immortalizing the grandeur of Egypt's past for generations to come. The discipline of Egyptology has undergone a profound transformation in the modern era. No longer solely focused on retrieving or inspiring artifacts, Egyptologists have shifted their gaze toward expanding the body of knowledge surrounding ancient Egypt. While excavations in the field continue to be vital, much of Egyptology's progress now unfolds within the quiet confines of libraries and archives. The exploration of ancient texts, historical records, and scientific analysis has become just as crucial as physical excavation, offering new dimensions to our understanding of Egypt's history. The modern era of archaeology in Egypt is marked by a remarkable interdisciplinary approach. Traditional Egyptologists now collaborate with scientists from diverse fields, joining forces to unlock the mysteries of the past. Cutting-edge technologies such as GPS data, satellite imaging, and ground-penetrating radar have revolutionized the way archaeologists operate. These non-invasive techniques allow researchers to peer beneath the Earth's surface, gaining invaluable insights before even breaking ground. The collaboration between experts from various disciplines ensures that Egypt's rich history is explored with the depth and precision it deserves. The story of Egypt's archaeological heritage is a tale of resilience and adaptation. From the plundering threats of the 19th century to the modern era's collaborative, knowledge-driven approach, Egypt's treasures have endured. The sands of Egypt continue to yield their secrets, a testament to the enduring spirit of exploration and discovery. As we conclude our journey through time, we are reminded of the profound importance of preserving the treasures of our past. Egypt's rich history, its enigmatic monuments, and its enduring mysteries continue to captivate the world. It is a legacy that belongs not just to Egypt, but to all of humanity, a testament to the power of knowledge and the enduring quest to unravel the mysteries of our shared history.
Ancient Egyptian society, though often viewed through the lens of pharaohs and pyramids, was deeply rooted in the family unit. The family was the cornerstone of their civilization, providing the essential framework for social and economic stability. Family provided stability, social structure, and a sense of belonging in a world often at the mercy of the Nile's floods. The annual inundation of the Nile was both a blessing and a challenge, and families worked together to manage its impacts. This emphasis on kinship permeated all levels of society, from peasant households to royal palaces. Whether in humble villages or grand estates, the family was the primary unit of social organization, Homes, whether simple mud brick dwellings or grander structures of stone, were vibrant spaces where families lived, worked and interacted. These homes were not just shelters but centres of daily life and activity. Within these walls, daily life unfolded. Meals were prepared, children played and crafts were practiced. The rhythm of daily life was marked by the seasons and the cycles of the Nile. The household was a microcosm of Egyptian society, reflecting the hierarchical structure of the wider world. Each member had a role to play, contributing to the family's well-being and prosperity. Tomb paintings and inscriptions offer intimate glimpses into the daily routines and relationships of ancient Egyptians. These artworks reveal the importance of family ties and the affection shared among family members. Scenes of families sharing meals paint a vivid picture of the centrality of family in this ancient civilization. Meal times were not just for sustenance, but were also social occasions that reinforced family bonds and traditions. Daily life in ancient Egypt was a tapestry woven from routine tasks, religious observances, and social interactions. Men, typically responsible for agricultural labor, crafts, or trade, were the primary breadwinners. Women, while often managing the domestic sphere, actively participated in various economic activities. They engaged in tasks such as brewing beer, weaving textiles, and managing household finances. The home itself was a place of activity, with tasks often shared among family members. Children assisted with chores and learned the skills necessary for adulthood. This division of labour fostered a sense of interdependence within the family unit. The household reflected the importance of order, balance, and shared responsibility. Contrary to popular belief, ancient Egyptian women enjoyed a surprising degree of legal and economic independence. They could own property, engage in business transactions, and even represent themselves in court. Women held positions of respect within the family structure. Mothers were highly revered, and their influence was significant. While women possessed legal rights and societal respect, their lives were still shaped by gender roles within the patriarchal structure. The realities of daily life, childbirth, and societal expectations influenced their experiences. From fields to palaces, social stratification and daily life. Ancient Egyptian society was highly stratified, with a clear hierarchy influencing every aspect of life. At the apex stood the pharaoh, followed by priests, nobles, and high-ranking officials. These individuals enjoyed lives of privilege, inhabiting opulent homes and wielding considerable power. Commoners, who constituted the vast majority, led more modest lives. Despite disparities in wealth and status, shared religious beliefs and cultural practices united Egyptians across social strata. All Egyptians venerated the same gods, observed similar funerary rituals, and shared a common cultural identity. The ties that bind marriage, family, and inheritance. In ancient Egypt, the bonds of marriage, family, and inheritance were deeply intertwined, forming the bedrock of society. Marriage in ancient Egypt was primarily a social and economic contract, ensuring the continuation of the family line. These unions were meticulously documented, often involving detailed contracts that outlined the responsibilities and expectations of both parties. Marriages were often arranged to forge alliances and secure advantageous social connections. These alliances were not just personal, but also political, strengthening ties between powerful families and communities. Most marriages were monogamous, although men of high status could take secondary wives or concubines. This practice was more common among the elite, reflecting their wealth and social standing. Women had a degree of protection within marriage, with laws safeguarding their property rights and inheritance. These laws ensured that women could maintain some level of independence and security, even within a patriarchal society. Divorce was a possibility for both men and women, albeit with certain social and economic consequences. The process could be complex, often involving negotiations over property and custody of children. Children were highly valued, and families celebrated their arrival with joy. The birth of a child was seen as a blessing, and elaborate ceremonies were often held to mark the occasion. Parents doted on their children, providing them with toys, games, and affection. This nurturing environment was crucial for the child's development and future role in society. Inheritance played a crucial role, typically passing through the male line, with sons inheriting from their fathers. This ensured the continuity of the family name and the preservation of wealth and property. Daughters could inherit property, and in some cases even the throne, if there were no male heirs. This was particularly true in royal families, where the absence of a male heir could lead to a daughter ascending to power, ensuring the stability of the dynasty. Furnishing the past homes and possessions, the homes of ancient Egyptians, whether modest mud brick dwellings or grand estates, were spaces where daily life unfolded. These homes were not just shelters, but the heart of family life, where traditions and daily routines were carried out. Most homes were designed around a central courtyard, providing light and ventilation. This architectural feature was crucial in the hot climate, ensuring that the living spaces remained cool and comfortable. This open space often served as an extension of the living area where families gathered for meals and socializing. It was a place for children to play, for adults to work, and for everyone to relax and enjoy each other's company. Furniture was typically simple and functional, with wooden frames covered with woven mats for beds. These beds provided a basic yet comfortable place to rest after a day's work. Chests and boxes stored clothing and personal belongings, while pottery vessels held food and drink. These storage solutions were essential for keeping the home organized and ensuring that daily necessities were easily accessible. Wealthier homes had brightly colored paintings depicting scenes from daily life and religious rituals. These artworks added a touch of elegance and reflected the homeowner's taste and social status. These murals beautified the home and served as visual reminders of the homeowner's status and beliefs. They often depicted gods, goddesses, and significant events, reinforcing the cultural and religious values of the time. The possessions found in Egyptian homes provide valuable insights into the lifestyles and beliefs of the people who lived in them. From everyday items to decorative pieces, each object tells a story about the ancient Egyptians' way of life, their values and their aspirations. A child's world upbringing and education in the Nile Valley. Childhood in ancient Egypt was a crucial period of preparation for adulthood. Children were nurtured in environments where they were taught the skills and values essential for their future roles in society. Education was highly valued, with literacy seen as a mark of social distinction. Boys from wealthy families often received formal education at temple schools, learning to read and write hieroglyphs. Girls were educated at home in domestic skills like weaving and managing the household. Play was an integral part of childhood, with children engaging in a variety of games and activities. The transition to adulthood was marked by rituals and ceremonies, signifying readiness for marriage, family, and societal contributions. Our understanding of ancient Egyptian family life has been shaped by centuries of scholarship and archaeological discoveries. The Victorian era often projected its own values onto the past, interpreting ancient Egyptian society through a lens of patriarchy. As archaeological evidence has accumulated, our understanding of gender roles and family dynamics has become more nuanced. Legal documents, tomb inscriptions, and artistic representations depicting women in positions of authority have challenged traditional interpretations. By acknowledging the diversity of human experience, we gain a more accurate understanding of the past.